Hello and welcome to this week's album review where I'll be discussing JPEGMAFIA's newest release, I Lay Down My Life For You. JPEGMAFIA, hip-hop artist, actually just finished recording his discography review, which I went through from Black Ben Carson all the way till now to this project. I didn't go into depth on this review. I'll probably go track by track and kind of give you my thoughts on each song. But my general thoughts in the beginning would just be, I thought it was fantastic. It was a real surprise. I know he was working on this for a while, and I remember seeing his tweets because I follow him on Twitter, or X, and he was saying how, like, album coming soon, he's in album mode, shit like that. So I was always like anticipating whenever this was gonna drop, but it totally came out of nowhere. He dropped like 2 singles, and I was like, okay, cool. I kind of anticipated when this would be released. But yeah, guys, I've been a huge JPEGMAFIA fan. If you're watching this and not the discography review, been really into his music. I got a chance to see him last year with Danny Brown. At Warehouse Live, and now I'm gonna see him on August 31st, I believe, at White Oak Music Hall. If you're a fan of him, hey, let me know. We could probably fucking link up, or we'll mosh together, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get right into the album. I don't want to cut any corners. I have to fucking edit this shit tonight, so let's get this going. The first track is I Scream This in the Mirror Before I Interact With Anyone. A great way to start off the album, kind of showing and setting the tone right away for the rock influence that was going to be on this album. And I had talked about it in the discography review that I just finished doing, that this kind of rock influence, or this kind of punk rock metal influence, has always kind of been there in Peggy's music, but I always felt that it was kind of like not pushed back, but I always felt that it was kind of like in the back and everything else came before. When it comes to production or his raps, I feel like those always kind of were in the forefront, and the kind of, whenever he did introduce any guitar riffs or any kind of heavy metal influences, it was kind of like in the back burner, But like I said, this sets the tone right away. He mentions, if he was an NBA player, he'd be Dylan Brooks, which is fucking hilarious to me. Mentioning how shitty Shaq was at free throws. Even mentioning like how we're not equal. Like that whole beginning part is so fucking crazy, because one is Peggy shitting on his ops again, which is always like a good time. But hearing those kind of like, I assume they're live drums, unless he did this shit with the machine, which would be kind of insane, or a DAW. They sound like they're live drums being played, which I kind of mentioned it or alluded to it in the review, or in discography review, that I would want to see like a live band whenever he performs live. I feel like him having a live band would elevate his performances like tenfold. So I hope that happens. But yeah, good opener, sets the tone right away of at least the first half of the album, because like on the second half it kind of switches up a little bit. But that will lead into the second track of the album, which is Sin Miedo, which was just a fucking anthem, bro. I'm surprised this isn't like a bigger song. I feel like this might be one of JPEG's, it has a possibility to be like one of JPEG's bigger songs in terms of like popularity. The whole Big Booty Hoes, Got With It, fucking sample that he used on that. So many things being thrown at you with this track, and the repeated line of she had issues with her father, I had issues with my barber, which is hilarious. He's always talking about his hair, bro, bald and shit like that, or where's my hair, look where my hairlines came. Like, this adds to those hairlines, no pun intended there. But yeah, I remember I enjoyed this song more than I did Don't Rely on Other Men, in terms of the 2 singles that were released. I think once he like does the guitar in the video of this was insane, bro. It was actually really, really cool to see him, like, and the memes were like funny that he had finally got like a HD camera or some shit like that, which I thought was funny, because all his videos are usually like grainy, that kind of old VHS early 2000s kind of feel. Really, really high energy. I can't wait to hear this live whenever I see him at the show. I think this will kind of like, I wonder if he'd open with a song like this, to be honest with you, just kind of get the crowd going a little bit. Okay, after that, we will go to I'll Be Right There. To be completely honest with you guys, when I first heard this song, I had to run it back like 3, 4, 5, 6 times, because I just love that sample, bro. The way he came in and he was just rapping his ass, rapping a mile a minute immediately, talking shit about Freddie Gibbs, which, I'm not gonna say used to, I'm still a huge Freddie Gibbs fan, and I've been a Freddie Gibbs fan since like Pinata, obviously. It's kind of one of the albums that kind of like gravitated me towards him. And to see him and Peggy beefing, I was like, no. It was kind of like whenever Freddie was beefing with Benny the Butcher, and I was like, God damn it, like, I love both of these guys. What the fuck's going on? The intensity and like the vulgarity that he was going at him just on tweets. So I already had a feeling that we are gonna hear like some rhymes about him on this album. Him talking about like on Twitter, he was talking about like his kid had a dick dent in his head and shit like that, was just fucking funny. Him talking about, alluding to like Freddie Gibbs and shit like that, which if you know what Freddie Gibbs is, go ahead and look that up. And make sure you put like large files on your Google search. But anyway, he has some lines directed towards him. Like I said, that sample is just super, super nice. And then he actually, I don't know if it's strings or what, but there's like another element that kind of like brings up the track a little bit as he's flowing through it, which I thought was really well done. One of my favorite tracks for sure. Okay, after that will be It's Dark and Hell is Hot, which honestly is probably the track that I go back to the least. I still fuck with it though. I still feel like this is like a song you would hear at like a club where they play house music, or like a bar that they play house music or shit like that. It's kind of like that it's like appearing like some Brazilian production, shit like that. I really dig it. And I actually like the way he raps like on the second half of that, to be honest with you. You know, it's kind of the beat for the majority of it, then it switches up to him rapping. I thought he killed that shit as he did like the rest of the project. But yeah, no, that was pretty that was pretty well done, to be honest with you. I really, really enjoyed this track as well. And I had mentioned it on the other video where like there was a video of him in Brazil where like he was getting like accosted by a fucking guy recording him, because I think like a sneaker shop, or not a sneaker shop, but like a sportswear store tried to scam him out of like $2,000 when he didn't like buy anything at the store, and they were like trying to fuck him over. So he brought the ruckus to him. I don't blame him, shit, fuck him, you know what I'm saying? 2K is 2K. So, but seeing him in person, like interact, I was like, oh shit, okay. Like usually like, you know, he usually talks about it, but seeing it like on video, I was like, oh shit, I forget that, like, you know, Peggy's about it. But yeah, man, fun track. I thought it served its purpose well. Like I said, probably the one that I go back to the least, just because there's so many other tracks that I really, really enjoy on this album that I think have like a higher replayability for me personally. But for the gym or for running, I think this would be perfect. After that, we go to New Black History featuring Vince Staples, and it's funny, man, because he actually samples Future's "Na Me La Mira, My Breath Is Majida," the whole like Mamacita. Or Senorita, I think, is a Vince Staples song. The fact that he sampled a Vince Staples song on a song with Vince Staples is fucking hilarious and like really creative to me. I really like Vince on this track. I would love to hear them do more songs together, and him like talking about Jonathan Major's paper and people crashing out for PDFs and rapists no Drizzy, like the whole. And I saw people be like, just like, oh, what the fuck, everyone's dogpiling on Drake. It's just like, dude, he's been dissing Drake, just doing the video that I just did, going back to his whole albums. I was like, bro, this motherfucker was doing that shit when I was in high school, bro. I'm fucking 27 years old now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a while that he does not like this man, bro. He does not like him at all. So that wasn't a surprise to me. I thought it was funny, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't mind it at all. Also, like, I think during the Kendrick and Drake beef, he totally sent a tweet out that went viral where he was like, I think it was after Meet the Grams, and he had a shitload of likes and retweets, but it was like, I'm no longer the biggest Drake hater, Kendrick, that's crazy, or some shit like that. He kind of gave Kendrick his props. And I remember retweeting it, and I was just like, okay, like, this is a known thing that he dislikes this man. He has a song called The Drake Era, you know what I'm saying, where he's kind of like telling people to get the fuck out of his genre and stuff like that. Yeah, and that wasn't surprising to me at all. But another fantastic song, a good collaboration, one of 3 collaborators on this album. I thought Vince killed it. I thought JPEG killed it. Really, really fun track. After that, we'll go to the first single, Don't Rely on Other Men, which initially I did fuck with the song. I thought the video was crazy with Homeboy that looked like powder. That shit was wild. But I did fuck with the song back then. I just never really went back to it. I went back more to Sin Miedo, to be honest with you. But this one, the album version of this shit was, oh my god, incredible. And I noticed in the beginning, I'm just like, damn, is this like a different version of this shit? Is he rapping like different or added verses maybe to it? Because he's done that before with like Rebound and stuff on LP or offline. So I was like, oh, it could be the case of that. But man, the ending to this song, like, is crazy. Whenever he does the if the cop pulls me over, I say que paso or some shit like that. Once it goes there, the from that point on to the end of the song is fantastic. He's talking about like, cut your head off like I'm Sinaloa, basically referencing like the Sinaloa cartel, which is fucking insane to me, like just beheading and shit like that. Usually you hear rappers talk about like El Chapo or wanting to be like a narco and shit like that, but no one really mentions like these motherfuckers get their hands pretty dirty, like with beheadings and fucking sending ears and shit like that. I think shit has calmed down now, but boy, back in like 07, 08, shit was wild. Definitely prefer the album version to the single version, but an awesome track nonetheless. After that, we have Vulgar Display of Power, which I believe is a reference to a Pantera album. I think it's Pantera. A fucking anthem. This man totally made an anthem. This songs like this, bro, these kind of rock oriented songs, and I don't mean to like disparage other artists, but when people talk about like, oh, Playboi Carti is like a genius, you know, he's next level shit, Playboi Carti is this, or even like a Lil Yachty, or even like other people that get these flowers for being like slightly different, to me, this is different. To me, this is like mixing those two genres very, very well. And when he starts rapping, and that guitar is just shredding. It was fucking fantastic. The electric guitar. This is what I expect. You know what I'm saying? This is like someone doing something different, something that's familiar to us, but still putting his own spin on it. And like I said, a total anthem, bro. The whole "I Will Not Fall," like fucking uplifting, real nice shit. I'm looking forward to hearing this song with the whole crowd, to be honest with you. I feel like it's gonna be high energy. The first of two Wu-Tang references that I thought was fantastic. The fact that it wasn't a sample and it was him rapping it was really well done, because you could tell it's his voice. And bro, he comes from that class, dude. He's a huge fan of ODB if you listen to Veteran. And I believe on the Danny Brown show, he kind of talked about like how RZA was like a really good producer, or how RZA producing all that shit with like no computer is insane. You know what I mean? The fact that he did all those sample chops through like an MPC and shit like that. But yeah, let's go on to Exmilitary, which is also the title of a Death Grips album. Probably like, to me, their best album. And I know they used to have a little back and forth. Well, not really a back and forth. Peggy just like kept dissing the motherfucker, to be honest with you. So I don't want to say a back and forth, but you know, I think he was more frustrated at people kind of looping every experimental project to Death Grips. And how frustrating that can be. So I completely understand him on that front. But yeah, Ex-Military, you have that Tears sample from Wu-Tang Clan, which is just fucking incredible. And it's so hard, man. You do a sample like that, and it's so hard to like not think about that song. And probably one of my favorite Wu-Tang songs, to be honest with you. It was actually featured in this movie called The Whackness. And I always point to that movie. It has like Josh from Drake and Josh, and he's like dealing drugs for like with like Ben Kingsley, and Ben Kingsley like his psychiatrist, and he's dealing them drugs, and it was really just weed. He's dealing them like weed so he could get therapy sessions off of it. It sounds crazy, but it's a really good movie, honestly. I fuck with it a lot. But I always point to that scene, and it's just like, well, he has a scene where like him and Ben Kingsley are just getting fucked up, and like Tears is playing in the background. And if you listen to the song Tears, it's super like, it's such a tragic like story. What the fuck they're describing, just the beat, that kind of dun 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 dun, is like so iconic. And the fact that Peggy flipped that shit, made it his own twist, again, made it his own thing. It's just fantastic, man. He's a league of his own when it comes to this shit. He really is, dude. And the next track, Jihad Joe, it showcases that as well, bro. You have these fucking nuclear sounds going off when he starts switching the flow up with these banging ass drums. Very intense, very in your face, and he has these like grunts that he does on like the previous song and this song as well. These kind of yelling grunts, like almost chanting shit, that I'm really looking forward to whenever, like, I'm curious how he's gonna do that at the show. Is he gonna do it like verbatim, like on the track, or is he gonna like, you know, leave it to the audience to kind of like, and how the crowd is gonna elevate those kind of songs. There's also plenty of references to Kimbers, which I told my friend Paul this, but listen to JPEGMAFIA will make you want to buy a gun. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, I'm not even into guns like that. I'm low-key like, you know, not for gun control, but I'm kind of like, you know, kind of crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? There's more gun than people supposedly, but that shit makes me want to get a Kimber. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I would definitely want to get like a gun and just like at least one. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let me get a Kimber real quick, just so I could fucking, whenever JPEG references, I could just hold that motherfucker in my hand and just be like, okay, I understand him. I had mentioned the grunting earlier, but the part where he's talking about like he's so terminally online, which is just a perfect description. I don't know about terminal, but JPEGMAFIA is so online. It's literally like the internet on like a rap album. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what it is. Like, the references that he makes, he's always topical. He's always like on point. He's always like, God, what's the word? Topical. There's another word for it. Fuck, man, I can't think of the fucking word. Relevant. He always talks about things that are relevant, you know, and whenever you're listening to his albums, but the fact that he's just like, I'm so terminally online, I need help for myself, or whatever the fuck he says, and then he leads it to that like, ugh, that kind of like, ugh, almost where he's like disgusted with himself. It's funny Funny but very intense, and it definitely gives me hype. And after that, we have JPEGUltra featuring Denzel Curry, who starts the track off with these like fantastic, like I wouldn't say rambling, but like intro to the track before he starts rapping. And Denzel kills it. Denzel's like a man, low key, he's like top 5 like right now. He just hasn't like really missed like that. What does he say, bro? Coming out your bitch, like Wayne said, or some shit like that. Coming straight from your bitch, or something like that. Live and direct. Just a really funny intro that Denzel gives, and then proceeds to just murder the track. I thought his feature was really well. I kind of prefer his feature over Vince, but I thought Vince, for what that track was, fit. You know what I'm saying? So two totally different tracks, but man, I really like Denzel on that shit. I liked him on Bald too. I like the remix is cool. I saw people like my brother says that he prefers the original than the Bald remix, but I'll fuck with the Bald remix. But I think Denzel rapped his ass off. And then he has an awesome line where he's going off where he says, Peggy Chun-Li, I kick out every time. Basically saying like they can't keep him down, that he's gonna kick out like a professional wrestler. But I love that fucking line so much, dude, because you go through a lot of shit, you know. Life is tough, and you go through a lot of shit, and a simple line like that, him referencing fucking Chun-Li from Street Fighter, and then referencing kicking out like bro, you're almost down for the count, but you kick out of it, and it's just, I don't know, shit like that, little shit like that is just inspirational as fuck. After that, we have Either On or Off the Drugs, which is, God, probably another one of my favorite songs, to be honest with you. I think it would have been like I'll Be Right There, Exmilitary, and this one. Just incredible. Just incredible. I mean, apparently the song that is sampled on this shit is a fucking AI, like 1970s version of a Future song called Turn on the Lights or some shit like that, or Turn Off the Lights. I don't think it's Turn Off the Lights, it's Teddy Pendergrass, but Turn on the Lights. Crazy if that's true. I think it is true, because I saw the file and I was like, what the fuck? I saw the video on YouTube, so I was like, god damn, this is what he sampled. But incredible. See, that's excuse me, that's like a perfect use of like AI. You know what I'm saying? Something that someone made, or a computer fucking made evidently, but someone like typed into like form, and Peggy took it, flipped it, and made it original. And just is incredible. That second half when he's just flowing his ass off, bro, and the guitar comes in, beautiful, man, beautiful track. I have nothing else to say about that. That's just absolutely perfection. That's a perfect track on this. After that, we have Loop It and Leave It, which I think is one of the shorter songs on the album, or if not the shortest song on the album, excuse me. Fantastic, quick, in and out, and you know, he usually does that shit. He has like these shorter songs that serve like that are really good transitions to the other songs. And this one I wouldn't even call it transitional songs. He's totally rapping his ass off. The whole follow me, that kind of inflection he does is fantastic. He starts off immediately, like 2 seconds in, just fucking burning off with his raps, just killing it. Sounds fantastic. That kind of drum that comes in is just really like, just tops everything off. It's really like a good, how do I describe it, man? You have these strings that come in towards the end. They're just beautiful. Peak. Like I said, at this point, he's peaking on this fucking album, man. He really is. Like, the second half of this. And you know what's funny, man? Excuse me. What's so funny about it is, like, you don't even notice it. Like, I didn't even notice that he went from, like, this aggressive... You have a song like Jihad Joe, 2-3 tracks beforehand, and then you get this beautiful ass shit, and then you get into the next song, Put Anything on the Bible, featuring Buzzy Lee, fucking Steven Spielberg's daughter. But shout out to Buzzy Lee, I thought she killed it. This is actually like the song that was in the trailer for the album that he did, like I think a week, or I think the day that he announced the album, the release date for the album, excuse me. She did a fantastic job. I'm curious if he wrote those lyrics though, because some of that shit is really heavy and dark and really like introspective almost, and really like personal. So I'm curious if JPEG actually wrote that song, or if that was a Buzzy Lee kind of original like lyrics that she wrote down. But I thought that was fantastic. Then it switches up, you know what I'm saying? It switches up in a totally different song, a totally different song. It just sounds, man, it's just almost as good. I saw some people saying online that they would have wanted that shit to be separate, like Buzzy Lee staying maybe like a transitional thing and then into the JPEG part, but I don't mind listening to the Buzzy Lee part. It's just beautiful. It's really well done. It's really sweet, and I thought she knocked it out of the park. And that will lead us to the final track, I Recovered From This, which honestly almost beat out On and Off the Drugs for me in terms of favorite tracks. It's like you never really hear JPEG this introspective and like totally owning up to like his bullshit, you know what I mean? Or not his bullshit, but like his relationship problems, and kind of owning like his mistakes in the past. And I love the fact that he starts off the track saying that like, I can't believe this bitch got me breaking like this, and then he kind of ends it at the end where he's like, I can't believe this girl got me breaking like this, kind of showing like subtly like the growth that he had, like shit like that, man. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier on the discography review, but he's very straightforward, you know what I mean? Even something like that you could catch on to easily, you know what I'm saying? That like that the growth of him in the beginning of the song and him at the end of the song is different. And that whole I want to say chorus, the real quick chorus that he does, where he's talking about these losers ain't fucking you, these losers ain't hitting you right, I'm Derek Jeter. Just fantastic. He still finds a way to like introduce humor in this shit. Even the part where towards the end we're talking about like we came out of the mud, still got dirt in our faces, now we count blue faces. That part. The other part I think is on this one where he's like, all of my dick and we ain't even dating, you know, we ain't dating, like just like introducing, like even then he still has like a little bit of humor in this like really personal introspective song. I thought this song, like it's just fantastic. It really is just fantastic. I really enjoyed this last track a lot. I was trying to think of words to say, but Jesus, like I thought it served its purpose well, and it's such a perfect ending to this album, like perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it. Honestly, I wouldn't change anything about any of the songs, but that last song is just like something else. It's just something completely different that we never really get from JPEGMAFIA. Like I said, very introspective, personal, and you could even tell like at the end when he's done with it, he's just like, yo, I'm finally done with this shit. Like I'm done with the album. Like you could tell that it took him a while, and I know because like the other one took a while, the LP one. I know that was like a fucking pulling teeth, apparently, like dealing with his old label and shit. So I'm glad that he's independent now fully, I believe, and that he's growing, man. He's growing. There's a lot of shit on that last track that I really recommend people like looking at those lyrics, because he's saying a lot. He's really saying a lot in there. Yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and do it for this week's album review. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I did the discography review for him. If you want to check that out, and I'll give my thoughts on like his whole catalog, including this one. But man, what a artist, huh? What a artist. Fantastic, just a phenomenal, creative, unique. Those are the words that I can use to describe this man. I really look forward to like any project he does. I'm looking forward to the show. Holy shit. Like, please, if you're in the Houston area and you will be at the show on the 31st, message me on Instagram, DM me on there. I think I have to fucking approve it or some shit like that, but I'll see the messages. I'll see the requests. I'll be checking up on them. If you guys want to hang out after the show or before or some shit like that, or like kind of like meet us there. Because I think I'm going to go with my boy Mo. Shout out to Mo and my brother Nick. But yeah. If you're watching this, Peggy, salute. I appreciate you so much for being so creative and breathing fresh life into this genre. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Please like this video, subscribe, leave a like. I think I already said this shit. Leave a like. It's been a long day. Recording the other one and this one back to back is crazy. I've been talking for like fucking 3 hours damn near. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I don't want to keep you here too much longer. Till next time, peace and be safe.